All right, let's talk about something we all think we get: money. But, we're not going to talk about just dollars and cents. We are diving into the very real, the cognitive cost of financial stress, what that anxiety of not having enough money actually does to your brain. You know that feeling, right? That split-second, stomach in your shoes panic when you suddenly remember a bill you totally forgot about? Your brain it goes into overdrive, right? Frantically calculating, trying to figure out how you're going to cover it without everything crashing. It's an awful feeling, and for way too many people, that's not a once-in-a-while thing. It's just reality. And for so long, a lot of us, we accept it. We figure this constant low-level hum of anxiety is just part of the deal of being a grown-up. Like doing taxes or your back suddenly hurting for no reason. But the whole idea we're digging into today is that no, this is not normal, and it is definitely not okay. It's a huge problem with a very real, very measurable cost. And that cost? It's not just showing up on your bank statement. It's being charged directly to your brain. The real price you pay is cognitive. So let's get right into it. How a state of scarcity literally hijacks your mind. So what does money really buy? We're all taught to think it buys things, right? The car, the house, that amazing vacation. And yeah, sure, it does. But its real superpower, the most valuable thing it can possibly purchase, is brain space. It buys back your mental bandwidth. It buys you the ability to focus, to have some clarity. Think of your brain like a computer for a second. Financial stress is like this one annoying app running in the background that you can never, ever close. It's just constantly there, eating up all your mental RAM, slowing down your entire system. You're trying to just live your life, but your whole mental processor is maxed out running anxiety.exe. And look, this isn't just some clever metaphor. There is some genuinely terrifying science that explains this feeling of being mentally underwater. It's a phenomenon that can drag you into what researchers actually call the cognitive death spiral. So check this out. A huge study out of Princeton found that just living with active financial worry has a direct impact on your brain. It causes an effective drop in your IQ of 13 points. Just let that sink in for a second. 13 points. This state has a name: cognitive scarcity. And that 13-point drop, it's basically the same as pulling an all-nighter. But here's the kicker, and this is the really important part. You don't get to just sleep it off and recover. You are just walking around day after day, trying to make major life decisions with a brain that's been handicapped. And this visualizes the trap perfectly. Your financial stress goes up, right? Which then causes your cognitive capacity, your ability to think clearly, to go down. This, of course, leads to worse decisions. Maybe you take out a payday loan, maybe you miss a payment, which, you guessed it, creates even more financial stress. It's just this awful self-feeding loop. That really is the reality of it. It's not that you're bad with money. It's that you're trying to make critical decisions while your brain is being held underwater. It's this constant screaming what if in the back of your mind that makes clear long-term thinking pretty much impossible. So how in the world do you break this cycle? Well, the solution starts with a concept that's way more powerful than just having a high salary. It all starts with building a buffer. And this isn't just about cash, it's about creating stability. Okay, now what's so fascinating about this is that it shows it's not actually your income that determines how stressed you are. It's your stability. Someone with a really high income but zero safety net who's living paycheck to paycheck, they can be way more stressed out than someone with a lower income who actually has a solid buffer in place. And this right here is the whole point. The buffer is what decides whether an unexpected expense, a car repair, a trip to the ER, is just an annoying inconvenience, or a full-blown catastrophe that sends your whole life spiraling into debt. It's literally the cushion between you and disaster. But let's be real for a second. This is the part most financial advice just kind of skips over. Saving that first buffer, that first $1,000, it can feel completely and utterly impossible. So let's be honest about that struggle. So let's say you can somehow manage to save $50 a week, which, by the way, is a massive challenge for so many people. It takes 5 months to hit that $1,000 goal. And this timeline shows the brutal reality. It assumes nothing goes wrong. But life happens, right? A flat tire, a sick dog, any tiny little crisis can just wipe out weeks of hard work and, honestly, hope. And you're trying to do all this while paying what's known as the poverty tax. It's a systemic trap where being broke is actually more expensive. You're paying overdraft fees. You can't afford to buy food in bulk, so you pay more per item. You're forced to buy the cheap thing that breaks in a month, costing you more in the long run. The system is almost designed to keep you trapped.
So, how do you even begin to fight back? Well, here's a more psychologically driven approach. First, you have to give yourself permission to fail. You are going to have to restart this process. That's okay. It's just part of it. Second, get angry. Yeah, get mad. Use that frustration you feel about those stupid fees as rocket fuel. And third, really understand the difference between being cheap and being frugal. It's about making smart, strategic, short-term sacrifices so you can afford better long-term solutions.
And if you can do that, if you can fight through all that and build that buffer, the transformation is it's profound. The return on that investment isn't really financial. It's a complete shift from a life that runs on panic to one that runs on possibility. The very first time an emergency hits after you have your buffer, that's the moment it all clicks. Without it, you panic, you go into debt, you fall deeper into the spiral. But with it, you just handle it. You fix the car, you pay the bill, and then you just start rebuilding the buffer. It's freedom. It's breaking the crisis cycle. And this is the moment your whole relationship with money changes. For maybe the first time in your entire adult life, money isn't the source of your stress. It's the tool you use to solve the stress. And that shift in how you see it, that's everything. So here's the most important thing to get. You're not just saving money. You are fundamentally rewiring your own brain. You're uninstalling that old, clunky operating system that runs on panic, and you're installing a brand new one that runs on possibility. You are literally buying back your own brain space, $1 at a time. And this really is the ultimate takeaway. The goal of that first buffer isn't to get wealthy, it's to have agency. It's the power to make choices that aren't dictated by pure desperation. It's the ability to say no to a bad job or a bad situation because you have a little bit of a cushion. It's control. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. If you weren't constantly running that anxiety app in the background, if you could reclaim all that stolen mental bandwidth, what could you build? What bigger problems could you solve? What version of yourself could you finally become?